Hey guys, Sherm here, and today I'm going to be testing the Arash AF10 in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 at Golden Max in its multiplayer season. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, as well as my Purple Team Discord. You can find the links to those in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. So a lot of people may know the Arash AF10 from Asphalt 8, where it is finally returning from. In that game, this car was a high-end S-Class car, well, still is, I guess I should say, and it had one of the most notoriously difficult R&Ds in all of Asphalt 8. It wasn't the hardest, there were a couple other ones that took the cake there, but to give you an idea of how difficult it was, I tried to get every single car in Asphalt 8 that I could through the R&Ds. I was able to get almost all of them up to a certain point when I pretty much stopped playing the game a couple years ago. You guys know all about that. But the Arash R&D came, I want to say, 3 different times while I was playing the game, and I was not able to complete it any of those times. And to add to that, even though it was a higher-end S-Class car, it was not a king on any track, and was not as good as the Vulcan, for example, and basically just when it came out, it was not the king or anything, so a lot of people didn't really bother trying to go for it, I don't think. But I was really a completionist in Asphalt 8 for a long time, so I tried to get it 3 times, failed every time, even though each R&D gave 4 free upgrades, so that means I want to say I got 12 free S-Class upgrades total in all of those. I still, for whatever reason, wasn't able to upgrade it to the point where I was able to complete the final boss. Either I didn't have enough tokens, didn't want to spend tokens on it, didn't have the pro kits. In any case, I am very happy to be able to drive this car here again, where it is, instead of a high-end S-Class car, a somewhat mid-tier B-Class car. I would even consider it to be more of a lower-end mid-tier B-Class car because it is similar to the ASTERION in terms of its overall performance. This is not to say it is a bad car. It was perfectly serviceable to drive. I had fun with it. It just doesn't stand out, and for Class B, it's really not all that great. It is unfortunately the Legend Pass car for this update, or fortunately if you're one that buys Legend Passes, but I don't, so there's no way that I'm going to be able to get this car. But I will say, I did enjoy driving it in this season. I had some pretty close matches, as I often do when I drive these, I guess, relatively easy to drive cars that aren't either too fast or too slow. As we see here on US Midwest, this guy's catching up behind me, and this season in particular was made even more intense due to the fact that it was Slipstream, which led to a lot of races continuously going back and forth and back and forth. In like 50 to 70% of the races that I played in, I guess, Gold League, where I played most of the races in this video, I was pretty much neck and neck with somebody, at least one, sometimes even 2 other people throughout the majority of the race. And here we will see another one of such races on Chiron. So I would recommend going and watching my video about driving the Chimera on Buenos Aires in DS4 if you haven't yet, because I'm going to talk a lot more about those right now, particularly the DS4. I have finished the 2nd chapter, I have 2-starred my Saline, and I have unlocked the Gallardo and on my way to 2-starring that as well. I said in that video that my goal for the event, at least my basic goal, was to be able to get the Gallardo to 3 stars, which will allow me to get to the 4th chapter and unlock the GTR 50. If I'm able to do that, I will be happy because I will have unlocked 3 cars in the event and spending 6,000 tokens maximum, because that's the amount that you can spend on relay packs before you have to start buying more Syndicate coins with real money. But if I'm unable to even 3-star the Gallardo and I get stuck at a paywall before that, even after buying all the relay packs, at that point this Drive Syndicate would end up being just about as bad as the last one. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it's at least a little bit better, but we'll see. I would even consider the Yesco Drive Syndicate probably to be better than this one. Obviously the Rimac one is, but I shall reserve further judgment on the event until I really get to that point where I can't go any further, or I get enough information about like how many Syndicate coins on average you get from later stages and how much those packs cost, I mean, for the later cars and stuff like that. Because really, the only way to truly know how bad or good an event is to have that information and be able to calculate just how much you can do with what you're given and how much you have to either purchase or spend tokens in order to get. Now, the Bugatti Chiron special event has actually come back. I believe this is one of the first, like, real big special events to come back. It was the first one that the game ever had a full 3 years ago, in Christmas of 2018, the game the year first came out, only a few months after its release actually, 5 I want to say like that, and I actually have a good bit of nostalgia for that event because I was able to 4-star the Chiron after spending, I want to say, about 12,000 tokens in it, and I'm currently 23 blueprints away from maxing out my Chiron, and I've been told that there are 30 blueprints for this Chiron that you can get inside the special event, so hopefully I should be able to max out my Chiron without spending any more tokens. Now I will have a few thousand token surplus after spending the 6,000 on the DS4 event, so if I have to, I'm not too worried, but I don't think I will have to, because, well, the special event isn't actually changed all that much from how it was originally. The cars are all still the same, pretty much the stages themselves are still the same. The main thing that's changed is some of the condition rewards. For example, you can still farm tokens on the first stage, and overall it looks like it will definitely be at least a lot more pleasant of an event than a lot of the other ones we've been getting recently. To go along with that special event, we also have a Chiron Epic Pre, and I'm probably going to try my hardest in that one because I want to be able to get as close to gold maxing the Chiron as I can. And here I accidentally 360 and wreck in the middle. Now, at this point, a lot of people would probably give up and leave the race, and I gotta be honest, sometimes when this happened in the season, I did do that if the people were way far ahead. I thought about it, but I realized, wait, I'm kind of catching up, sort of, actually. I gotten back into 5 out of 7 position, and the first place wasn't actually all that far away, so I thought, maybe I can actually catch up after all. And this, I guess, is one of the positives of a Slipstream season. It generally favors those who are behind rather than those who are ahead, which is quite interesting, and I mean to say that that is in these kinds of seasons where everybody's in the same car and there's no speed advantage, because in a regular season, the faster car is going to have more of an advantage, but no cars are faster here, and I was able to claw my way back through and ride people Slipstream and come in first place, even after a wreck early on. Which surprised me quite a bit, because there were plenty of races I played in this season, as you have seen throughout it, and as you will continue to see, where I don't wreck, and I play fairly well. Here I'm going back and forth to try to catch this guy Slipstream, but he wised up to me and didn't let me do so. Drifting at the beginning is one thing that you can do if you're in front in these seasons to stop people from taking off your Slipstream. But anyway, in that last race, it was one of the only times when I ever wrecked in this season and was able to actually come back. Usually the races were too close for that, and the other players' skills were quite matched, and here physics does its thing again. I truly don't get this game sometimes. A lot of people have been asking me recently if I'm going to do a Christmas stream, and I do plan to. It likely will not be as long as the rest of my streams because I want people to be able to spend time with their families, as I will be doing as well, but I do plan to stream on Saturday, December 25th at my usual time for about an hour or so. And this brings us to our final race, in which I'll give my general review about this car. Overall, I enjoyed it. It pretty much just feels like a second ASTERION, which in and of itself is a pretty fine car to drive. Nothing spectacular, no terrible stats, no really great stats, but I'm curious to see how people will be able to do with it in the probably upcoming B-class multiplayer season, since they seem to be doing that by car classes now. And after a close race, we bring home the victory. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!